Hi, it's Joey, and today we're going to be watching Superman and Lois, Season 2, Episode 4, The Inverse Method. I am so excited for another episode. A reminder that, as always, you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 1 month in advance, and let's go! So they are using the same actress for Lucy from Supergirl, that's cool. Because it's sort of a different universe, they could have got away with not.
You are a part of this family, and we love you. And I love all of you. But I have to build my own life, and I can't let you do that.
Staying with Allie.
It's decision to make.
It's not a good decision.
Allie is my friend. She is. I have lost everything. My job, my fiance, mom.
I get why you're struggling, but honestly, Allie is taking advantage of you right now.
Staying here with you would
don't force any of my congregants to do anything they don't want to do.
Congregants?
Jesus
so the
Christ.
Society is a...
Call it whatever you like.
How about a cult?
And like, you don't have to force them. There are ways you can force people without overtly forcing.
Individuals on a...
I am gonna make sure that Lucy and everyone else you have infected sees you for the absolute fraud that you are.
I'm not looking forward to this plotline. I'm already stressed.
Down once and for all. Right, we need to find my sister.
Don't just hang up on that, okay? Talk to Chrissy. Freaked her out. He's getting off. Yeah, it's going both ways. Oh dear. I'm so here for this though.
See if the DOD is any. If not, then we'll just have to order them or head to Metropolis.
Sounds like you know as much about
With what money?
More.
Not as much.
We're about to have the best quinceañera that Smallville has ever seen.
La única que han visto.
Pues tendremos que mostrarles cómo se hace, ¿eh?
Okay, I got
Why
this.
shouldn't you be celebrated?
I think he's trying to dig up your past and use it against you.
Of course
They were
he
asking
is.
about Sarah too.
Well, that's nothing to do with any of
I'm so
this.
sorry, I had to tell you.
Emily, thank you.
You do not get to drag children into this sort of thing. I mean, it's bad enough digging up dirt on your opponent. At least that's relevant to the voters. The children's lives are not.
I have never.
He can't go into public right now. Like, they need to say he's ill. The guy's coming here.
He's coming.
Do you want to talk? We'll talk if you want to talk. Clearly not. Okay. Oh fuck, what's that? What does it do? Is it gonna make them one?
Wearing your gauntlet, John.
Will it combine them and make them just this Earth's Clark, but with that guy in control? Oh lord, oh lord, oh lord.
Why New Carthage?
Who knows? But I am pretty sure that this is our best chance.
That's the place Edge went to, right? Before Smallville. So are they investigating, like, are they interested in the same kind of stuff? The new kryptonite or whatever to ascend? Not new kryptonite, you know what I mean,
Find
ex-kryptonite.
your sister.
Better for her to be prepared.
It is.
What about Dean's kid, huh?
We don't go after family members. That is a line I refuse to cross.
And to be honest, if he does that,
What if this sets her back?
She is stronger than you think.
I know she's your baby and you just want to protect her, but the way to protect her right now is to give her the information.
All right.
Any of that yellow mist yet?
Jonathan.
Oh, it's like...
Different for everyone.
I'm very stressed for this boy. This is the spiral I've been worrying he was going to end up taking.
So how do we get a lock on the signature? We don't. I'm afraid the DOD is the only one with satellites that can find something like that.
I'll take it to Anderson.
Wait, there's one.
Girl's gone like really weird since Candace became captain. I don't.
She's drugging him.
No
Giving them
offense.
drugs.
None taken. John's never had the best taste in women.
It's too bad. It's cute.
Well, this could be a better girlfriend for him.
Plus, it's just been hard.
Hell yeah, bro.
Oh. Sweetheart, they might have security cameras in here.
My dad has the whole place under surveillance. Nothing happens here that we don't see.
Jordan, that was a very, very sweet impulse, but it was also very, very silly.
How were you using your cold breath in a quickie mart?
Some guys were just trying to steal some booze. My friend Denise's family just opened up the store. They're already in debt. I was just
He's
trying
a
to help.
sweet kid
a noble
with
thing.
powers.
Dumb it.
It's how... Okay, that is absolutely fucking terrifying that he's already...
The original.
Like,
How did you...
Son, I used to run the United States Department of Defense.
brilliant for right now.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry,
Just have
the
to always be
bloody...
aware of-
I went back a minute ago. Right. That is absolutely terrifying. Like, in this instance, fantastic. He saved Jordan. The secret's not going to get out. 10 out of 10 grandfathering. But the idea that the American government, any government, could just casually be like, oh, so that's security footage, and he's not even currently working, he's retired, chilling.
I'll always help out family, even if I'm playing the round in my life.
Well, maybe, instead of playing golf, you could be helping to look after your child that is in a cult. So after everything Lois said to you about Lucy and the fact that Lucy, I know she agreed to meet Lois, but I think I would be like, maybe I should check in on my daughter that I've just found out nearly died because of a cult, instead of playing golf. And don't get sucked into the cult.
I bet you've looked for this key to happiness in religion.
Taking advantage
or
of
maybe
vulnerable people.
philosophy. Some of you may have tried to find it at your jobs.
I actually found it in Baby Yoda. Grogu is my life.
You've looked everywhere.
You're in no condition to stop anything.
Your team isn't ready, General. I
What?
have to do this alone, so please, just let me know.
Trust the man that saved the day for countless times over the innocent little team that you just put together. By innocent, I meant inexperienced. But look, he's trying to trust you right now. Jonathan. Do not do drugs right now, young man. Make good choices. Make good choice. Oh, this is a bad choice. Make good choices. I have been waiting for his spiral and I feel like we've hit it. Oh, Lord. Have you had any thought of the fact that it could affect you somehow, given that you are half Kryptonian, even if you don't seem to have got abilities? Oh, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this.
Hey.
You are a brilliant player without drugs. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. It's been inevitable.
What are you doing here? Just trying to get my little sister back safely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never coming back.
To save other
That's
people
the
from
biggest
Allie.
You drove Mom away. I
How
was
dare
right.
you.
You do not get to blame me for her leaving. You wouldn't even talk about her after she left. It was like she
Okay.
never...
That you can be upset about. You can say, I needed to talk about Mum and no one would. But again, Lois did not drive her away. You do not get to say that to her. Second of all, Lois was a child. Your father should be the one your anger is aimed at. If anyone should have handled the situation better. And also, his spouse walking out on him is not something he was going to deal with very well. Just because you're in pain, it doesn't mean she's not also in pain. Your pain is not more important.
even existed for still our Mom.
Not to me.
Then you should have talked about her with your father.
You hide the truth to fit your own special narrative.
Okay, when a parent, a spouse, anyone in your life shows you who they really are, you can choose to waste brain power and things. Like, obviously, it will still hurt Lois. Obviously, she will still think about her mother. How can she not? Especially when she then became a mother and everything. But you can choose to spend all of your time thinking, how could they leave me? I missed them. Or wasn't it so nice when they were here, when they chose to leave? Or you can say, well, fuck them. They, they're technically speaking my mother. Not in any way that counts. Gone. Which one of you is living a fucking healthy life now, Lucy? Sorry. I get that Lucy's troubled. She's also a bit of a bitch.
It's crazy. I understand your confusion.
Like, did Lois lie a bit in her article to try and prove it?
Your article on Allie wasn't what we agreed on. You intentionally left out a key part of the story.
You were overdosing.
I was connecting.
You
Just
were
like Allie said,
overdosing.
everything she promised, Ross, over.
You weren't in a right state of
You
mind.
were
That's not for you
brainwashed.
to decide.
Actually, yes, it is.
Publish what I saw.
Because I was trying to protect you. You sounded insane. You were lost, and Allie Elston
was right, and you know it.
She's a monster.
So Allie didn't tell you to take a whole load of pills so that you could connect to your other self? I'm sorry, I don't think Lois did anything wrong in not reporting that, because for one thing, it's irresponsible, because if you report Lucy's words that, oh yes, I saw my other self when I was overdosing, then someone who reads the article could go out there, buy a load of pills, take the pills, overdose. That's on Lois. She didn't do anything wrong by withholding that information. She was doing it in public safety.
Sounds, but maybe it's time to reconsider what you believe.
Like, yeah, okay, so Lois technically lied to a source to get information from them, because Lucy didn't think that was what the article was going to be. Lucy thought the article was going to be something slightly different. I don't think that was a great gross negligence. Oh yeah, I talked to someone who overdosed and they claimed that they found their other self, and so I could have put that in my article, or I could have not encouraged other people to overdose on pills. I was really worried there that for a minute that Lois was going to have done something actually wrong.
On the record this time. Something to make sure you keep away from us.
Honestly,
Stay out of my life.
if I was Lois, I would call their father, I would tell him what had happened, and I would say, I cannot deal with her. For one thing, it's very clear that my attempts to help her are only pushing her further away. You need to step up. You need to be a father. You need to try and help this woman, because I can't do it. I have tried. She just paints me. I'm just the villain in her story. This is never going to change unless someone else changes it. Go back to the rookie. You're nicer there.
Anything else I should know about?
Oh.
You heard that?
You really don't trust me, do you?
Chrissy, I can explain.
What?
This was a sensitive spot for her.
Until I've had some time to clear my head.
Okay, that's fair. But I genuinely, when that conversation started, when it came up on the screen, I braced myself mentally for something damning. Maybe for journalistic integrity, she should have put the whole thing in the story, but also I think that would also be very negligent, because like I've said 1,000 times, a vulnerable person reading her article could think, oh, I can be enlightened if I overdose on pills. You know, like I don't think. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily, like, I'm not saying, wow, though, it's 10 out of 10 reporting, you didn't do anything wrong, because she kind of led Lucy to believe she was going to write an article about one thing. She didn't tell Chrissy everything. Like, yeah, there are things that weren't done perfectly. I was so stressed that it was going to be, like, the one time she truly crossed the line to try and save her sister. And, like, you could kind of understand it because she was saving her sister. But she didn't even do anything that bad.
What did I do?
Absolutely
Your
nothing,
mom and I
sweetheart.
Mayor Dean isn't just looking into my past, but he's looking into yours too.
Which is unethical beyond anything.
Gotta take certain things and weaponize them if
I'm
he
not-
thinks it might help him win.
Like, I'm sorry, if I was a constituent here and one candidate was like, my opponent's daughter tried to kill herself. She's a bad mother. I would be like, you brought what up? You did what? And then when she said, you know, that's my daughter's personal private life, I would be like, yeah, it is. And at most, I would be like, oh, that's what she then insisted her daughter went into therapy, talks now openly about her mental health with her daughter, and has got to a really healthy place with her. Wow, I'm going to vote for her. Sarah.
I needed help and I didn't really know how to ask for it, but I am not gonna let anyone make me feel ashamed for it.
Good.
I made a mistake and I learned from it. Shouldn't that be a good thing?
Mm-hmm.
That ignorant loser wants to attack me, then fine, let him.
That's our Sarah.
You okay?
Jonathan. Whoa. Please notice that he's taken the drugs. Please, please, please.
Maybe stop taking those meds.
Mm-hmm. You've tried it once. No more, please. God, they're both going to be so busy they won't notice him spiraling if he continues to spiral.
I messed up.
It happens. I don't think it's as bad as everyone's acting like it is.
Now she does this.
Honestly, call your father.
Not that I could save her.
She has to want to be saved or save herself. You can't force it on people. You can be there when they need you.
My mom always said, ready?
No.
Sure we don't need to alert?
He's in no shape to fight this thing.
Neither are they.
Bring it here.
He probably should have disclosed that it was a weird version of him. Maybe fly home and tell your boss that we could do with Superman's help? Oh.
Clark, what is it?
Does he know where? Oh, Lord.
2 are already dead.
What the actual fuck? 2 are already dead?
Here's help, right?
No.
Not enough.
Tear the suit.
Fuck. Okay, the one we know is still alive. It fell off. Take it and run, little boy.
Go.
Fucking hell.
Your suit is at 10%
You're not, like, I think it's a mistake him being here. I know Clark needs backup, but with his suit like this, is he not more of a hindrance?
Transfer all remaining energy into the hammer.
That will John.
Fuck. Can he fly home?
John, look out.
Look, weird, evil dude. Can we talk to you, please, zombie Superman? Also, thinking about it technically, well, it just occurred to me that actually, surely it broke a lot of international laws and treaties for General Anderson to send his 3 American soldier Supermen to Bolivia. Whereas Superman, who's like not affiliated to any military, can help everyone because he's a world savior. John Henry? Just a little concussed, right? He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. We're clinging to the fact that he is alive. No one should have to see anyone they love like this, but he's alive.
Natalie, I'm sorry.
No! We're supposed to keep him safe. How would you let this happen?
Your dad made his choices. Don't take those
Just
away
go.
from him.
Okay, just
Right now,
leave us alone.
she needs to feel things.
Well, that goes 2 ways, Kyle.
Oh, this
For a
man.
man who likes his tequila neat, word around town is you sure do get messy with it. Have a nice night, you two.
So are there things in his past that could hurt them?
Don't let him get in your head.
Mhm.
That's just what he wants.
Honestly, how I would pretty much vote for anyone over that man. The only thing that would make me not vote for them would be if they were more right-wing than he was. Like, I would not vote for someone more right-wing than that piece of shit. I just would abstain from voting. Or maybe I'd have to vote for him to try and stop the worst person getting in. But, like, yeah. Come on, Smallville.
Think I'll head home. Keep me posted.
You have another child who's spiraling. He's seriously just gonna go fish and play some more golf. It's fine. He's incompetent. At least he's vaguely paying attention to the one half of his family.
I want you to train me.
When you're older.
Okay. But this stays between us.
Okay, no.
Understood?
By no means, sir. You don't get to decide this without them. Because if you give him training, he might decide, like, the one kind of training I would be okay with Jordan having now would be, like, training for, like, a year or two. 2 years, 3 years, maybe? You know, how old are they? Have they turned 15 yet? You know, good 3 years training till you're 18. That works for me. And so, like, he can really hone his abilities. And then if there's an absolute, like, world ending, I mean, when it's the season finale, when the world's gonna end, we'll need him to help no matter what, no doubt. But if you just train him, he's gonna be like, oh, dad's in trouble, off I go, without whether you want him to or not. You know how these sweet little boys are. I'm stressed. But also, you don't get to make that kind of decision about someone else's child, even if it's your grandchild. Like, you don't decide that he's gonna train. You say, we'll talk to your parents, go back inside, we'll talk to your parents about that. I am more than happy to train you, but they have to be in on the decision. You have a daughter in a cult who is making your other daughter, making her life hell, just because she tried to save her life. You've been golfing. Do not meddle where you're not wanted. Either go inside, talk to them, and then Lois, but actually, do you know Lucy's actively back with the cult that you just found out was a bad... This man frustrated me in season 1, and I tried to be like, he's getting better. He's not getting better. But yeah, I think Jordan needs some kind of training with his abilities or whatever. And someone should be checking in on Jonathan to make sure he's not feeling too inferior.
But not nearly as much as I have.
I was worried about that, what he was saying.
Oh, what I came here to talk to
That's
you
why.
about.
Fuck, you're a fuck. Oh, I didn't think he could get any lower. I know when we first met them, they were in a very bad place. Their marriage was in a bad place. Kyle was in a particularly bad place. There's no excuse for cheating on your wife of many years. When you have a family in particular, like, I mean, not that having a family makes it any better, I just when I was rooting for Kyle and liking him, now I'm like, Lana, sweetheart, we're getting you a divorce and you're going to run as a strong, independent, single woman.
Today.
I suppose I need more details. If he was extraordinarily drunk, and I know he has an addiction problem, it's not as bad as if he was, like, sober and consciously doing it, but it's still extraordinarily shit, especially that after everything he clearly still hasn't told Lana.
Please call me back when you get a chance.
it wasn't that bad of a revelation. They're acting like she made up the story.
No, but I will do anything to keep you safe, Lucy, because of how much I love you. Even if it means you hating me for the rest of your
That
life.
is
Whatever I
love.
have to do to stop her, I will. Not even you can stop the truth from coming out.
What truth? That she's a cult leader who told... Okay. So, yeah, alright, I lied. I didn't... If I was Lois, I would genuinely release a statement that was like, I did omit one part of the story. My sister claimed while under... My source, actually I wouldn't name it myself, claimed that while under the influence of Ali, she wanted to find her higher self, so she took a load of pills, and while she was overdosing, she claims she saw her higher self or whatever. Now, I did not put this in the article because I thought it was great negligence to do so, taking advantage of somebody who was in a very mentally unwell state and inspiring other people in a mentally unwell state to also do this dangerous, terrible thing. I will also admit that perhaps I was slightly affected by the memory of finding my sister unresponsive, having taken all these pills at the call of Ali. If you think encouraging people to take an overdose of pills to find their higher self is a good thing, then you can tell me I'm a bad reporter and go and support Ali. But if you think that's not a good thing to do, maybe you can understand. Feeling a lot of strong feelings today. Have I? Oh, sorry, I really did not mean for that to be the thing that it should 27. Have I missed something? Have I misunderstood something from that the Lois and Lucy interchange? Because watch me suggests she's properly lying about stuff. Suggests that Lucy told her, oh no, Ali just said that we have a second self. She never ever mentioned overdosing or even killing herself. She just said, oh, you know, with meditation you can find it. But I independently thought I'll skip to the good bit and take an overdose. And Ali actually said, don't do it, it would be bad. Like, what did Lois... Watch me. What did she do? She just didn't say, oh yes, my sister who was having a mental health crisis and overdosed on pills saw her second self. Have I genuinely, like, please, have I missed something? And I'm sorry if you're watching this on YouTube, I will be a month ahead by then, but you know, tell me anyway. Don't you get sucked into Ali's cult. I have to believe Christine is double bluffing Ali. Like, she's planning to maybe go undercover and to expose the cult for what it is and, like, expose Ali and ultimately help Lois, but also just do the right thing. And therefore this is a ploy. And maybe she's even going to, for a while, act like she doesn't trust Lois and be like, oh, Lois, I don't want to talk to you. Oh, I have to listen to what she had to say and you're a bad reporter. I don't know. That it's got to be some kind of long con. Because if Chrissy is this stupid, I will lose all respect for her character. But if they want us to think she's being stupid, and, like, there is also the part that I have potentially completely misunderstood what Lois has supposedly done wrong. Because I don't think... I'm not saying that she did the right thing necessarily, but I also don't think she did anything that wrong. Like, I kind of think she did do the right thing in a lot of ways. Like, nothing in that conversation to me screamed, oh, that was the line she crossed. I was like, oh, no, that's quite reasonable, yeah. I also wouldn't write that the drug addict, well, not the drug addict, the overdosing mentally unstable person believed that they had seen their second self while they were overdosing, and therefore it was okay that they'd taken the pills and would have died if I hadn't got there because they found their second self. Like, to be honest, she probably should have just put it in the article and made Lucy sound insane. But so maybe if I understood why what Lois did was so terrible, like, obviously I get journalistic integrity and telling the truth and not keeping bits of the story out because it doesn't fit your narrative. That does make sense. But the only thing she left out was the apparent vision of a higher being or whatever, which, yeah, people have near-death experiences and they claim they see all sorts of things. The brain does tricks when you're dying. It doesn't mean it's real. Like, and also, even if it was real, we shouldn't be encouraging people to go overdose in the hopes they see the higher version. So I'm just completely misunderstanding why what Lois did was so scandalous. But I am putting right now, Chrissy is maybe doing a long con. Like, maybe she's even gonna deceive Lois because that way, when Ali has her little eyes everywhere, which she no doubt has, they'll see Lois being all stressed and concerned because Chrissy's not talking to her. Or in the next episode, she'll just be like, so I've gone undercover. We'll find out. But yeah, either Chrissy is doing some excellent 10 out of 10 journalism or Chrissy is dead to me. A little extreme, but you know, it's what I mean. Another person who needs to get his freaking shit together is General Lane. I can't remember his first name, so Daddy Lane, Granddad Lane. Like, it's one thing, like, helping Jordan with the thing in the store, good, makes sense. But he also should have said on the phone, and, you know, when your parents are home, like, I'm coming over this evening and we need to talk about this with them. Because they need to be aware that he did that. They're his parents. He nearly outed himself and his father and everything. And, like, yes, it was for a good reason. And it's probably the sort of impulse and moment Clark can relate to, having been young and kind-hearted himself. Like, you have to tell the parents about that kind of thing. And you have to maybe say to them, he needs training, he needs more preparation. And they could sit them down and say, look, we all agree that, like, what you're both dealing with right now is extremely stressful and time consuming, so I know you don't have time to spend training him. I am willing to train him. I'm his granddad. I have experience. I'm happy to do that. Let me do it. Instead of this kind of, like, not telling them about the incident in the shop and then training him but not telling anyone. That is just such a terrible, like, that is not how you grandparent. That is not how you act with another human's child. If Jordan was, I mean, even 18, I think you should really be telling the parents, but fair enough. If he was a legal adult, I would be like, you know, fair enough, he's 14. They've maybe turned 15. I genuinely don't know. Not to mention, his daughters are spiraling. And this man who literally did nothing. It also kind of irritated me when Lucy was screaming at Lois about how, like, you made mum leave. Excuse me? That is some displaced anger. Not to mention then saying, oh, you never talked about mum to me. Oh yeah, that probably is something that you can rightfully hold anger towards. But I think your sister is not the big culprit here. It's the mother that left and the father that maybe didn't do a good job of talking. I don't know. Then obviously I wouldn't particularly blame him because he was clearly dealing with the fact that his wife had just out and left him. And we know he was a shit dad. Like, we discussed that with Lois. Her anger should be at him for failing to be there for them, for looking, for realising the pain in that household, for freaking out and for going to work and for abandoning them. Why on earth is Lois being blamed for her parents' mistakes? Absolutely infuriates me. And then General Lane knows that Lois is investigating the cult stuff, knows that some stuff is happening, and has not bothered to check in with his daughters about that at all. Hasn't bothered to be like, hey, so did you meet with Lucy? How did it go? Oh, you didn't? Oh, the cult? Lucy's in the cult again? No, he's just like, Tweedledee, I'm gonna go train my grandson and not tell his parents. What a terrible human being. He failed as a father, and he's failing again as a father, and failing as a grandfather. The trifecta. Really infuriates me. I don't know if it's like, I'm choosing to believe it's not bad writing, he's just not a good person. And maybe he's trying with Jordan. I don't think he's got evil intent with Jordan, but he's just obviously being a dick. So that is extremely frustrating. And Jordan asking him, Jordan's 14, 15, he's a kid, he wants to learn, he wants to train, he looks up to his granddad. I'm not blaming him, he's a kid. But yeah, General Lane needs to be looking at his kids because Lucy is spiraling. Lois cannot save her right now. Like, right now, the only way Lois can save Lucy is for Lois to just stop Allie and make it so that no matter what Lucy wants, there is no cult to be a part of. Or for Lucy to realise the truth on her own and reach out for help and have Lois be like, okay, fine, I'll help you, come on, I love you. You know, that is the only way to save Lucy right now. But maybe her father, who she does not currently, it would seem, hold this anger towards for some unknown reason, when if anybody she should hold this anger towards, it should be the mother who is not there. But out of Lois and the dad, like, it's really irritated me. And then he just, oh, my daughter could be back in the cult that I've literally only just found out. Like, oh well, never mind. Come on, play some golf with me, grandson. Very frustrating. Someone else who is frustrating me, but less in a less rage-inducing way because he is 14/15, is Jonathan. Taking the ex-kryptonite smoke stuff. Children. The bad choices they make. Now, like I said, I'm not feeling that kind of rage towards him. If anything, I'm feeling despair. Like, I'm watching it and I want to help him. I want to give him better advice. I want to, like, help him not make these choices. But he is a character in a television show and I cannot do that. It's very stressful for me. I've been waiting since season 1 for him to spiral. There have been various times where he has surprised me with how put together he's managed to remain despite all the struggles he's facing. But it's just, I just don't see this going well. I really don't. And it was especially foolish for him to take it because he is half Kryptonian and who knows what it could have done to him. Like, I know I'm guessing at this point we're supposed to say that he just is, his Kryptonian side is just dormant. There are no powers in him. He has none. Like, we know Jordan isn't Clark level. Jordan is kind of a step down, and Jonathan just got nothing. Like, he just, sorry, that bit of DNA didn't swim to your side of the woo. I don't know what I'm saying, but like, he doesn't have powers. But taking the ex-Kryptonite could have had any kind of, he could be like, we do not know what it could have done to him. Part of me wonders if there was a small part of his brain that was hoping taking it would activate something in him, would mean he could have powers like his brother and his dad, that he would be just like them. Because truly looking at this, I honestly feel like a lot of the time in their family, because Jordan has had the obvious struggles, he will have had a lot of the attention. And that isn't, you know, he needed the attention. I'm not criticizing anyone for giving it to him. He was struggling and he needed help. It is very easy to forget the child that is mentally stable and doing just fine along the way, who's like healthy or, you know, good at sports and have loads of friends, so you don't have to worry about him. Little things like when they say, oh, he often chooses bad girlfriends, or like he kind of, I don't know, I worry that not enough attention has been put on just how much Jonathan has given up and sacrificed to move to Smallville since season 1, to the point that he's even given up his bedroom for seemingly the second time, because when Lucy was moving out of the room, that looked like it was Jonathan's room. No, I don't think he necessarily minds giving up his room, but I think it's very emblematic of the fact that this boy is constantly accepted to just smile and give up stuff that means the world to him. And of course, eventually he's going to start pushing back, and in this case, looking for an easy way to regain something, which was being the star quarterback that he had when he was in Metropolis. I also worry that his parents are going to be so preoccupied with stuff that is genuinely life and death stuff. Again, I'm not super critical of them. They have extremely busy stuff going on. It's not like they're going to miss him because they had to go to the poker game or something, but they're going to miss seeing him spiral. Hopefully Natalie will be able to see that, but then she's got a lot going on too. So I'm concerned about the path Jonathan is on. But the girl in the shop seemed friendly. She did not like the weird behaviour of the cheerleaders who were taking the drugs, and she helps out in her parents' shop. So I'm hoping that she can become a future girlfriend of Jonathan's, because she seems like a good girl. No, I mean, I'm just stressed. He's spiraling and barely begun the spiral, and it's like I'm watching a train crash and I can see it's gonna happen, and I'm just stressed about it. Very, very stressed. So John Henry, I understand 100% Natalie being furious, Natalie not wanting to look at Superman, being angry at them, because yeah, he is the all-powerful Superman. He is supposed to be the one. Her dad shouldn't even be doing this. He shouldn't even be out there fighting. And when your dad is lying unconscious in a hospital bed, you're not really going to feel angry. How dare you do this to me, Dad? You promised that you weren't going to do this. You promised that you were going to just be my dad and be with me and not make me lose another parent, and now you've gone out there and you knew the suit wasn't at full power. You know, that is where your anger should be, if anything, because he made a choice. He knew his suit was not at full power, but he cares about doing the right thing, and he cares about these people, and he wanted to help save his friends. He knew the suit wasn't at full power, but he did it anyway because it's who he is. So I don't think Natalie is going to be furious with them forever. Now, if he died, I think that might be a lot harder to get over. I have to believe he's going to survive. I think if he was going to die, he would have been dead, because it's far more tragic to just kind of clean cut it. But it's definitely going to make Natalie was adjusting so well. She was fitting in. She was getting on well with the boys. She might have noticed something was up with Jonathan. But now he is out of the way. I think what could be an interesting consequence of this might be Lois and Natalie having to spend more time together. You know, she doesn't have another parent anymore. The only parents around are Clark and Lois, the ones that tell her to do her homework or brush her teeth, get to school on time. You know, like, while they kind of merged as one sort of big sort of extended family up till now, they are not, her dad is not around, they are her guardians. So that could be an interesting development going from here. I was really worried when Natalie first came through. I don't like change. I don't like new characters being introduced, and I don't like dynamics changing from the core of the show. So I have to admit, at the end of season 1, I was like, I don't like it. So far, I think they've done it really well. I wasn't super worried because this show has done a fairly good job, but yeah, I was concerned. Before I'll finish up with Zombie Clark, unless I forget. My brain fog. If I do forget, I'm very, very sorry. The Cushings, they've been doing so well, and they do not deserve this. I am incredibly proud of Sarah because, you know, in season 1, when she noticed, I think, I've just been editing these episodes, so they're kind of fresh in my brain. Like, she noticed that Jordan took some pills at the funeral, so she was like, oh, I'm also on some antidepressants. Like, yeah, you know, she was able to open up to him about her mental health struggles, and she kind of really connected with him because they both knew what it was to struggle in a, I suppose for her especially, a small town where everyone smiles and is perfect all the time. And, you know, her family have come through a lot. They've realised that, you know, Lana kind of let down that guard and started to show her own struggles and, like, you know, started to treat her with more as an equal rather than as a kid that you have to hide all the dark things from. And she is in a much better mental space now. But in season 1, she was all, oh, Jordan, no one else knows about this. Don't tell anyone, okay? You're not going to tell anyone. Whereas now she's like, well, if he comes to me, I'll let him. You know, I'm not going to hide that. I survived it. I learned from it. I'm proud of myself. Like, I'm really, really proud of her for that. And I really hope, should anything come out like that, that she is able to keep that mentality because it's the correct one. She had a mental health crisis and she tried, like, she was, it was a terrible, terrible moment in her life. She will forever be thankful that it didn't work. And the minute it happened, her parents got her the help she needed and have open and frank conversations about mental health now. Why is this a bad thing? If I learned this, I would first of all be furious at the mayor, current mayor, for daring to expose this. And second of all, I would be just so proud of Sarah for coming through it, and I'd be like, prouder. I'd respect the fact that Lana wasn't similarly going after the mayor's kid and that she was looking after her own daughter. So I'm guessing that that's kind of run its course as a plotline. The mayor's not going to go after that because he's found out that Kyle is Dick. The amount he was drinking and the way their marriage was in season 1, it's not a huge surprise that he cheated, but it is a frustration because, like, this is the last thing this family needs, is for this to come out and be, and yeah, here we are. Now the one, there are kind of different, cheating is such a difficult topic, you know, it is something that affects people a lot, and it is a huge red flag against people. Now, the only people I fully let off the hook for things like this are kids, you know, like Sarah's kiss at camp. I'm not going to say that's a red mark against her or anything. For Kyle, though, this is. But what I want to know is, was it like one time he got super drunk and they did something? Or was it a regular thing? Because if it was like he got really drunk and it happened, I would maybe lean more towards, well, he is sober now, it was kind of a symptom of the addiction, he still should have come clean, he still should have told Lana, he still needs to do a freaking load of apologising and grovelling, but it was more of a symptom, it wasn't, or a side effect, it wasn't a conscious choice because we know he's addicted to alcohol. If it happened a whole load of times, then he's making a conscious choice at some point here. You know, it's not, oh yeah, a whole load of times I just lost control. And if it happened when he was sober, then fuck him. Basically, is where I'm at right now. I know their marriage was not in a good place, and I know that neither of them are communicating very well, so that's at least better than him doing it when things were really good at home. But it's seriously another red mark against this man's name when, you know, in season 1, he barely clawed his way back into my good graces. And yeah, you know, a lot of my forgiveness of him from not liking him at the beginning of season 1 was realising that was him acknowledging his struggles with alcohol and becoming clean. But this is a whole other level of shitty, especially if he hasn't told Lana. So that's a lot for them to deal with, and I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, I need it. I need Lana to find out quickly so she can just cope with it. Get a good divorce attorney. I don't know. I'm just stressed. And it's another thing Sarah does not need to deal with when she's in it. It's just Kyle, why? So then we have Zombie Superman, who I need him to say, I am Cal X. I am Liam. I am super masculine. I don't know. Just, you know, give me a name. I need them to start referring to him by a name. So Zombie Superman, he's been looking for around, I guess he's like looking for different artifacts. Was he in Bolivia also looking for something? But he heat breathed himself a pretty little necklace that when he's near Clark, it connects. Is that some kind of a thing? Like, is he trying to sever the connection between them? is he trying to absorb Clark into him so he becomes the only Clark on this earth? So it's like kind of only one can properly be sustained at one time, to stop the memory flashes because they're probably disrupting him. I'm very intrigued about what he's up to. Obviously, the military will now know that there is a zombie Superman on the loose because Tag, I think his name was Tag. I don't know. He survived. Of course, the two red shirt little Supermen didn't, but he survived thanks to Clark, and he got the necklace back to the army. Now I could see Anderson being like, you didn't tell me it was a version of you, Mer. And then Clark could be like, yeah, well, you didn't tell me that you were going after him when I clearly could have helped. Maybe they'd both be alive. Did I tell you they were inexperienced and shouldn't be out in the field? Oh wait, yeah, I did. Where are they now? Dead. Who was right? Why did Ian Bohen play such frustrating characters? But they're gonna know. I feel like a lot more information is just on the table now. Clark has improved right in that this team of young Supermen was not ready, and Anderson has proved that Clark was lying to him about stuff. I don't know. So hopefully they'll be able to kind of reach a bit more of an agreement to work together. But I feel like this is the point where either they find that agreement, they figure out a way to work together, or they split, they splinter, and they never work together ever again, and they become enemies. And I'm stressed. I need to know more about Zombie Superman. I really don't have much to analyze, like, about him at all. I do not know. I need more information. Thank you so much for watching. You can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 1 month in advance. So I'm on season 3, episode 4 on Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.